I feel for animals too, because they don't have a voice. They are voiceless. I mean, they don't have a spokesperson who can talk about their rights and, you know, that they shouldn't be hurt and say, please don't hurt me. And with slavery, you know, just like Martin Luther King, animals don't have a Martin Luther King to speak up for them and make a difference. And just because something's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years doesn't necessarily make it right. Hey guys, my name is Monica and welcome to my channel. Today on my channel we're going to talk about something more serious in veganism. If you want to see videos about recipes or cruelty-free makeup or hauls or something else that's more light and fluffy, I do have those videos and feel free to go check those out. But today I want to talk about something that's going to be pretty controversial, I think, and I've been a little afraid of making it because I don't like to be a controversial person, but I knew I couldn't start a vegan channel without having some controversy in it, and I want to be real with you guys, and I want to express myself and give you my true honest opinion on things. So I debated also about filming this because I know it's going to be emotional, and I'm like trying to get the words out and I don't quite know what to say. I know it's all in my head, but I want to say I relate to animals, animal slavery, what's going on right now, or what's been going on for as long as I can remember. One of the reasons why veganism is so personal and so close to my heart is that a lot of people don't use the term slavery, but animals are enslaved. I mean, I don't know the exact definition of slavery, but I think, you know, it's basically when someone or something's being held against their will, they don't have their freedom, and they're being taken advantage of or what have you. And although I've never visited a slaughterhouse or anything along those lines, I've seen enough pictures, I've seen enough videos, I've heard enough people's accounts who have been there to, you know, get a pretty clear picture. You know, they say a picture says 1,000 words, to get a pretty clear picture of what's being done to these animals before they end up in the grocery store all neatly packaged and they end up on our plate. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're just being overly sensitive, you're being vegans are just extreme, you know, there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of negativity around veganism. And so one troll, hater comment, or whatever you want to call it, I saw recently was, I believe it was on PETA's account, on their Instagram account. Someone was like, well, what does animal suffering have to do with you? Like, why do you care? What does it have to do with you? And that just got me. Like that triggered me, I guess. It got me pretty riled up, because I was just thinking, well, hell, why do people do anything to help anyone else if it doesn't have a selfish gain for themselves? I'm like, I just don't understand how people can think like that. How does animal slavery relate to me? Well, first of all, you know, I think it's pretty obvious I'm a minority. And although I am personally thankful that I have never been a slave or, you know, anything remotely, you know, that's scary and tragic, I know my history. I think just about every American knows the history of slavery. And it's not, you know, it's not just Black people. There's other races that have experienced too. And that's why we still have human trafficking going on. Like, I know we don't hear about that much, but it still goes on, and it breaks my heart just knowing that things like that are going on in the world. And I always ask myself, why? How could anybody do that? How could anybody be okay with this? And it's just scary to think, you know, I mean, as far as I can tell, everything has to do with like money, greed, and power. If someone's making money for it, they can justify what they're doing and make it seem okay, or maybe they really just don't care. And I guess some people do want to see the world burn, and that's terrifying, but I am not one of those people. One thing that I know about myself is that I have a big capacity for empathy, not sympathy where I'm feeling sad for someone, empathy to the point where I can put myself in their shoes and I want to help, and it makes me sad to see them that way, but instead of just feeling sorry for them, like I want to take action and I want to help them. So being the empathetic person that I am, you know, when I came to veganism and I saw what was happening in these slaughterhouses, I was just thinking, man, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I believe in karma. I believe in the possibility of reincarnation. I mean, that's another one of those things. I mean, you either believe or you don't. I don't think we really have any proof of that. But if reincarnation is real, I hope to God that I do not come back as a pig or a chicken or a fish or a lobster or a turkey or a cow, just any animal basically, because I could end up in a slaughterhouse, and that's scary. And I think there's a big misconception that vegans tend to care more about animals than they care about people. And I think that's kind of ridiculous because that's implying that we don't have the capacity to care about both. But not everyone is in a position to help animals, but everybody is in a position to not harm them, not contribute to the harm being done to them by not eating them, you know, by not wearing them, by not putting them on your face. I mean, there's so many ways to live a cruelty-free lifestyle. It's one of the easiest decisions I've ever made. It's one of the easiest things I've ever done. And I sleep so good at night knowing that I did not intentionally contribute to the harm of another living being. And I'm not saying that animals and humans are exactly the same. I know that they're different. We're different species. You know, there's certain differences, but there's also a lot of similarities. And I don't want to hurt anyone or anything that can feel pain. That's not who I am as a person. That is why veganism completely aligns with my lifestyle choices. I don't want to contribute pain and suffering. You know, I may not have the means to be an activist, like I'm not a lawyer and I'm not fighting animal rights, I'm not maybe fighting human rights, like I may not have those skills, but I know I can make a difference in my own personal life and how I live my life with compassion. I feel for animals too because they don't have a voice. They are voiceless. I mean, they don't have a spokesperson who can talk about their rights and, you know, that they shouldn't be hurt and say, please don't hurt me. And with slavery, you know, just like Martin Luther King, animals don't have a Martin Luther King to speak up for them and make a difference. And just because something's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years doesn't necessarily make it right. So just another comparison is, you know, when I see comments and I hear people say, well, that's fine for you if you want to be vegan, that's your choice, like that has nothing to do with me, it's my body, I can do what I want. I just think of, wow, I wonder what it was like back in the slavery days. Were people like, oh, well, that's okay for you if you don't want to have a slave, but like, I want to have a slave because, you know, I need someone to do my cooking and my cleaning and I can't do that by myself, or I don't want to, or I'm too lazy. That's what I hear. People are like, oh, well, you know, that's fine for you, but I want to keep eating meat. And I just don't see any reason to harm animals anymore. I can't find a good reason, a good excuse. We have all the resources in the world in this day and age to not harm animals. I don't see why you would if you could make the choice, and we definitely can make the choice. And I would also hope that if I did live back in those times and I was a slave, that someone would speak up for me if I didn't know how to, or if I was too scared to, or I had given up hope. I would hope somebody would be there and stand up for me and say, hey, look, this isn't right. and keep on talking about why it isn't right, why it isn't ethical, why it's not okay to make some people slaves and some people can just be free. And like, I don't understand the rationalization of who deserves to be a slave and who doesn't. Just like I don't understand the rationalization of animals, how people say, oh, I love animals, and certain animals are kept as pets and other animals are kept enslaved and eaten and worn, made into furniture. Like, it doesn't make sense to me at all why we choose this. Why? Just why? I mean, who told us? Who told you that a dog and a cat are kept as pets, but pigs and cows and chickens are not? They're just meant to be eaten. And people will argue, oh, well, it's because, you know, pigs taste like bacon, it tastes good. I was like, well, we don't know what cats and dogs taste like. I mean, I don't think most of us do. But there are other countries where they do eat cats and dogs as well. Who gets to decide? If I were walking down a street and I saw someone hitting their dog and abusing their dog, I would feel compelled to say something and try to stop it however I could. If I was walking down the street and I saw somebody torturing a pig, kicking it, yelling at it, hitting it, abusing it however they wanted to, I would also feel compelled, just the same amount, to try and help that pig and stop them from being abused. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. If I saw an adult being abused, if I saw a kid being abused, if I saw a black person, a white person, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All I know is that that person or that animal is feeling pain and it needs help. Am I in a position to be able to help? And that is why I am vegan for life, for all of eternity, for the rest of my days. I'm pretty positive I'm not going to be stuck on an island, and even if I were, I'm pretty sure they would have fruit trees or something. So I think that about wraps up what I wanted to say. I feel so much better saying that, just getting it off my chest. These are thoughts and feelings that I don't share with people close to me. The only person who really knows how my train of thought and like how I feel about veganism is really my husband, you know, because he is vegan. But I don't talk about it with family or friends. I don't feel like, one, they would understand, and two, I don't ever really bring up veganism unless somebody actually has a question about it and they're not just trying to debate me, they actually want to know. Or if it gets to a point where I feel like, you know, there's a lot of really rude and insensitive comments coming towards me about my lifestyle, then I will set some boundaries and say, hey, that's not okay. Like, you can't talk to me like this. You know, with strangers and stuff, I kind of let it go. But with like people close to me, you know, you're going to see them a lot throughout your lifetime. So it's not okay to say insensitive, mean, rude things, comments about, you know, how you're living your life, even if people think it's funny. I've never heard a vegan joke that was funny from a person who wasn't vegan. So anyways, that's how I feel about that topic. And, you know, like, if you agree with me, or if you at least understand where I'm coming from, if you have similar feelings, or heck, you can even dislike if you don't care, or you didn't like what I said and you disagree, that's fine. I mean, that's what those like and dislike buttons are for. But either way, it's good. So if you want to get more of my personal thoughts about veganism, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And until then, I will see you guys later, and thank you so much for watching, especially those of you who made it to the end of this video. So I will see you in the next video.